Hey, man.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey,
Can you hear me?
Rolando, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I had the speaker off.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Sweet. Awesome. So, all right. All right. So we're gonna have the last. We're gonna do the last process, which is for stakeholder management. Um, Control stakeholder management. That is the last process that we have. So recapping a little bit on that knowledge area, what we did was the first process was identify, which is basically figure out who stakeholders are going to be. Then we plan for it. That's of course part of planning, and then manage the stakeholders that's executing. And now since everything is dynamic, we are actually going to work on controlling the stakeholder engagement. So basically, those relationships that we have built, this is the way this process allows you to monitor those relationships and adjust any strategy that you might need to adjust to make sure that you keep those stakeholders engaged and supporting your project. So that's kind of what you do with this. And basically, it allows you to be maintain the efficiency or increase it if needed, and the effectiveness of that engagement with the stakeholders. So things are going to change throughout the project. So basically, it's making sure that your strategy in managing the stakeholder engagement is still being successful. So the inputs that we have, the first one is the overall project management plan. It's going to provide important information, how the human resources are going to be, the requirements are going to be met, the change of management plan, techniques for communication among stakeholders. So that's going to be part of of different subsidiary plans that are part of the project management plan, communication plan, and so on. Then the issue log, it's another input for this process. Usually, this is going to be evolving throughout the project. So that is definitely something that provides information that is going to be critical in some cases to the stakeholders. This is a mechanism so the issues that they have, you can, for the project, of course, can be addressed. Then another input is the work performance data. So this is the data that the raw data hasn't been put into context, but it's definitely important. These are the observations and measurements during carrying out the project work. So important information there. Then the next input is project documents. The schedule, of course, one of the this better than me. People are usually asking for dates and when is this going to be delivered, and how things are looking when it comes to dates. So the timeline is one of the things that a lot of people, that a lot of stakeholders are going to be interested in knowing. Then, of course, your stakeholder register, the issue log that was mentioned already, and then all the project communications that you have in the way of status reports, meeting minutes, etc. The tools and techniques that we use. So the first one is information management systems, which is a tool that is used to capture, store, and distribute information to stakeholders about the project. This could be a combination of things. For example, you can use a combination to capture information, store and send information. Right now, where I'm at, we're using SharePoint as not only as a document repository, but also they created a project management dashboard with a list of projects. So each project has a site, and the different teams and the different and management, upper management too. They can go and review that information that has been captured. And this is a way of having that information available in lieu of sending an email with an attached status report. So basically, they can just go to a SharePoint site and look at the information and have it available there without the need of sending a weekly status report. That's kind of what an example of an information management system. Then expert judgment, of course. This is your expertise is going to help you, and your team's expertise is going to help you also to identify any new stakeholders, and if you need to reassess their needs, and these can come from different sources, even from project managers that have worked on similar projects, any SMEs in that particular area, and even some of the identified key stakeholders that can provide some information on that. Of course, you're going to have status review meetings. That's another tool and technique in which you're going to be able to exchange information and get a feeling of the stakeholder engagement. So the outputs that you get, the first one is work performance information. Remember that you should, and this is going to be a recurrence. Work performance data, it's most of the time it's going to be an input, and then the output is going to be work performance information. So this is when the raw data, work performance data is raw information, but work performance data is raw data, that is not into context. But when you put that data into context in order to help you make better decisions, that's work performance information. And I'm making that point because the test is very subtle. It's very subtle. It's very there might be just one word. They just change one word, and if you don't really have it clear, then that can be the difference of having the right answer or the wrong answer. So that's why I'm emphasizing that one, because I remember that coming up. That was in the test somewhere. So make sure information, work performance information is an output. Then the other one is work performance data is always an input, or most of the time, I should say, not always. So this is put into context, and then you're also going to have change requests. So maybe you might need to have some corrective actions that might allow you to bring the expected future performance of the project in alignment with the project management plan, and any preventive actions that can reduce probability of incurring in future negative project performance. So that's a lot of that can come from interactions with the stakeholders that might have different views. So that's something that is important to keep in mind. And any changes, that's going to be handled through change request. Then your project management plan might need to be updated to make sure that the overall strategy that stakeholders might have, or their vision of success should be also aligned with the project management plan. So if there's any changes in the approach or the strategy in some particular knowledge areas, you might want to update in any of the particular knowledge areas, the different project plans for a specific knowledge area. And for example, the communications management plan, the cost management plan, human resource management plan, and so on. So there are some changes that need to happen to align and level expectations with the stakeholders. And then some of the other updates that you might need to do. Of course, the stakeholder register. This might change. Some new stakeholders might be identified, and some other stakeholders are no longer part of the project. So those changes need to be taken into account. Your issue log, some new issues might be identified, and then some of the current issues are resolved. And I spent like 3 hours today going over that. So, yeah, like 1 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, that's painful. That's really painful.
1 in the morning?
1 hour in the morning and then 2 in the afternoon. We're going over the Jira queue that we have, and one by one, making sure that we're trying to get that project on track, make sure that we can deliver the day, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Oh, believe me, I know. I'm right now struggling in mine because we still identify some fields that we need to map, and we're already in UAT. Of course, some of the stuff came out when we started testing this a little bit more. But when I went over to the system integration team, that are the ones who set up this data for us to extract, they're telling me that to set up the data is going to take around 2 weeks. And they'll start on it on Monday. And I said, do you guys realize that we are in UAT and a go live, if you delay us 2 weeks for these fields, or 2.5 weeks, that's a major impact to the project. So
Wow.
but I understand. I mean, they got other work, so it's going to be an issue. So then when they go, hey, Lucio, if you can convince our boss to give us priority, I said, I don't, I can go and ask them. That's not a problem. But I'd rather go to the business line owner, who's a higher position than me, and tell him, hey, go talk to this guy. Because it's going to take them, so they're going to give us the stuff in 3 weeks, basically.
Yeah.
They don't start until Monday, and they're saying at least 2 weeks. So the other 3. That puts us at the end of November. But the business line owner didn't come to work today.
Oh, wow.
I lost the date. No, es así como la cosa.
Yeah, eso, sí.
But and I'm lamenting to you, but
No, I know the growing pains. I mean,
I go to UAT. We're UAT, entonces le digo a la gente, all right, so we need to test. And they go, no, Lucio, we can't start testing. What do you mean you fucking can't start testing? No, the extractions aren't ready. And they say this in a status meeting in front of fucking auditing.
oh
The
my
auditing
God.
has become, they think they manage PMO. Entonces yo digo, wait. What do you mean? They go, no, Lucio, how can we do extraction when we know there's some fields missing? And I go, wait. You're missing 4 fields. You still got 50-something fields. So we extract the data out. we load it and we verify the 50-something fields.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Don't reconcile because you're missing the fields. Oh, well, wait a second. Lucian, we can reconcile the loading of they're great, but we just can't reconcile, we can't just, the other thing is we can't do the forecasting piece. Fine. That's even better. But if we sit back and say, oh, no, we can't test because we're waiting for this, we're never going to start testing. And then worst of all, you don't test. And what happens if right on the first test, you run into a problem? You could have identified it weeks earlier.
Yeah.
Pero, you know how it is.
Oh, yeah. No,
and I'll tell you something. I was thinking about you at work today. I said, Orlando's going to be so disappointed in me. Poor Orlando. Because here I am. I closed a project, and I haven't given one of the major documents yet, which is the transferring of support. I just don't have the time, man. And I'm not going to stay until fucking 10 o'clock at night doing it. I say, you know what the fuck? Auditing's me van a chicharrar mañana. And I said, fuck that shit, man. I don't care. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to say, well, fine. I'm sorry. I haven't had the time.
Wow. Yeah. But it's that, I mean,
in my case, it's very simple. I have no pilot customer anymore. The pilot customer bowed out. They said they lost 2 people. They didn't have the time. So what the fuck? Me voy a matar para qué? Para que se siente ahí. I know I want to close the project. I got 1 more week before the project is closed.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, let's see.
No, and then para que te ría, and then we'll go back to class. I'm sorry. Pero para que te ría, I get an email at the end of the day que auditing has decided to. They already had warned me, but they had decided to use my project for them to do a review. So that means they'll come in and they'll sit and they'll ask questions, and then they give a recommendation. So it's not an audit; it's a recommendation to my project. Auditing 3 weeks ago finished auditing PMO. Why are they fucking auditing my project? Entonces, the head, the CIO, the Banco Entero, the top guy in information, sent an email to auditing saying, no, I don't want you doing this project has a very aggressive timeline. The one that the vendor themselves says out of the norm. You guys just finished auditing PMO, so I need a break. Do not audit this project. Do not review this project and do recommendations. Let's talk tomorrow.
Oh yeah, but you know what that sounds is those people don't have enough work, man.
Yeah. Bro, and I'm telling you, sometimes they're very helpful. Sometimes they complicate things, man.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah. Yeah, I know the feeling. I really know the feeling. So.
And we use SharePoint, I mean. And I told you the ridiculous thing. I create a presentation for the status.
Mm-hmm.
So I update the presentation when there's some changes. Then I have to create an email which shows the status and some of the minutes of the meeting. Then I got to document in SharePoint the minutes of it's 3 different things. I'm doing the same shit.
Yeah,
so I stopped documenting the minutes of the meetings in SharePoint. A mí me van a chicharrar.
What do you do? How do you do your meeting minutes? Check this out. I was really happy that I was proactive with this. My boss was like for an entire week for a meeting. No, remember that this meeting is really important. I really need to be to capture the minutes. I mean, capture everything that is said. I mean, all the content, and I start thinking, okay, if I'm gonna do that, that means I'm not gonna be able to participate in the meeting. So because it's either one thing or the other.
Yeah,
You,
you're the guy presenting.
so you're you're like the moderator. You know, in these
Yeah,
meetings, I mean, the
you're the
PM is the
guy.
moderator. So if I'm taking notes, I'm not gonna be able to participate or add any content or even to follow because I'm busy taking notes. So it's one or the other. You know, you don't. So I'm not a scribe. I'm not a professional scribe. I don't have that training. I can capture action items that I can do, but to take so I didn't tell the guy that. I didn't tell my boss that. I was like, wow, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start thinking, what can I do? What can I do? So I came up with this idea, and it worked out like a charm. I downloaded an app on my phone. It's called Meeting Note, Meeting Notes. I'm recording the freaking meetings, man. And then when I have time, I can work on the meeting minutes from the recording. So that way, I'm doing CYA, and no one can really say that I didn't capture the meeting minutes. And then my boss, which happens to be a micromanager, he has me, oh, send me the meeting minutes to me first before you send them to all of the people that were in the meeting, which I don't understand why he wanted me to do that. That's like, I don't know, censorship or whatever it was reviewing that. So I sent him what I did. And, oh yeah, okay, no, this is fine. I mean, they're clean, they're detailed, so that's fine. Of course, I use my app on my phone, man. So I'm doing the recording. That's really that's ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's a great idea. Maybe I'll do the same thing. Pero for me, man, it's come to a point que it's it's just too ridiculous. And
yeah,
those
but in your case, it's redundant because we have SharePoint, right? So we have a section for each project site. We have a section. One of them is project documents. In that project document, in those project documents, we can add the meeting minutes for the meetings and all of that. But we don't have to do any PowerPoint presentation besides that. I mean, we create a site, and when we create a site, yeah, we can. Come up with the latest and greatest status report, but that's a one thing deal. At least they don't have it redundant like that. That doesn't make any sense. And we don't have to send any emails either. So that's even better. I mean, if anybody wants to see the progress of the project, they just gotta go to the SharePoint site, and that's it.
Yeah, no, we have a in SharePoint we have a tab that's called meeting or minutes, and you click there, and then you can enter the format to the minutes. But like I said, I still got to send out an email.
Wow.
And I still have to make a presentation. Your presentation, when you're saying the status, entonces my boss decided that the presentation, when I used to do the presentation, I used to just do PowerPoint, ¿cómo se llama esto? Bullet points.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll show a graph, depending on what we were doing. But it was mostly bullet points and text.
Yeah.
We have discussions, open discussions. Pero ella no, ella quería un formato de una cosa que se llama the project scorecard. Entonces, the project scorecard, you have all sorts of information on there. And then you show the milestones, which is like a very concise or very high level project plan. And then you show a graph que te dice what you accomplished this week, what you plan to accomplish, issues, decisions, shit like that. And bro, yo digo, I used to give that information, but in a different format. Now her format is fine. Entonces ella dice, use the same format for the steering committee meetings. So I got business owners that say, man, why are you inviting me to two meetings that you're presenting the same thing?
Exactly.
I go, because we're redundant. Yo le hold, yo digo, just in case you forgot it the first time. But they're pissed because it's wasting their time, and I agree with them.
Absolutely.
You know what happens with, they stop coming to the meetings.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you, son cositas así pero you go up and, you tell them and they'll argue with you. La head of PMO and her sidekick. Oh, no. And I said, I don't have the energy. Forget it. What do you want? This is what you want? Okay. Fine. Yeah,
Yeah. That's gotta pick your battles, It's
Oh, yeah, they'll come to me and say, hey, you got to do this. You go, okay, and I don't do it.
yeah.
If I don't think it's critical, I don't do it because, bro, I got a million things to do. You think that, no, man.
No, that's absolutely, yeah, that's.
Y más, el indio de mierda que te estoy hablando, the guy's a fucking hypocrite. El tipo viene y me dice, you're a PM, you got to do this. I don't know if I told you the other day, I'm doing a go-no-go meeting. Did I tell you this?
No.
Oh, all right. I'll tell you this quick, man, because we got to get back to this shit. But I got a go-no-go. Esto es parte de toda esta mierda que tú me estás enseñando. I got a go-no-go meeting. I make a presentation, and I have the tasks that are required for the go. So I have them lined up, right? I have them listed in a table, like esta table que tú estás hablando, and it says, the task, the date, who's responsible, the status. The status is go or no go. Go means ya está listo.
Yeah.
No go means que it hasn't been done or it's not going to be done,
Yeah.
I'm going through and one of the statuses for to be ready for the go live era a customer training. And the thing was that a while back, they told me, hey, force them to train the pilot customer. You cannot go live if there's not a pilot customer ready. So the only way a pilot customer can be ready if you train them. So I put it on there. And so we're going over the review con the key stakeholders. Y el program manager for this project for me, un indio. Okay, I don't like it to work with him. And estoy trabajando, and they get. I mean, I'm listening. We talk about one of those things, and the business owner says, "Hey, Lucio, I don't think this is really a key task for the go. We already have scheduled the training for the following Tuesday, which is after we go live. We already have scheduled a meeting with a pilot customer, and at that point, we're gonna train them. So we can go live without this happening." Y yo le digo, oh, okay, that's not a problem. Entonces auditing goes, oh, but why? A question. Why would you, Lucio? Why would you think this is critical? Right? Because and before I open my mouth, the program manager goes, hey, yeah, this is really not critical. And then auditing goes, oh, okay, so it's not critical. The program manager says, no, but I don't understand. Hey, Lucio, why did you put this here? And they go, well, and every time I try to answer, he goes, I don't understand. This doesn't make sense. Why would you do that?
Wow.
Well, this is in front of everybody. I mean, he's on a conference call. I'm sitting in front of 3 people. There's other people on the conference call, so I don't see my face. All I did was put my hands to my face and started nodding my head back and forth, like saying no. Like saying, what a fucking asshole. Y todo el mundo me está mirando. They see my face. And I'm just saying, what a waste of time. Y el tipo se pone, I don't understand. I really don't. This doesn't make any sense. Why would you put it there? Tell me, Lucio. Why would you put it there?
Wow.
Oh, because I'm a fool. I'm an idiot. Okay, I answered your question. We're ready. Let's go to the next one. Se quedó callado. The people that were sitting with me said, John Ray, what the fuck? Who cares? I put a task.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and say, because you and the head of PMO and auditing and everybody else told me put it on there because you were trying to force the business to put on a pilot custom. Because that's going to create unnecessary noise. Pero te voy a decir algo, brother. I was getting pissed. Y I said, aquí voy a soltar un bombazo. And I go, you know what? I just say, I'm a fool and keep going. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
Exactly.
I'm a fool. I'm an idiot. All right.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right, bro.
All right.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So the last
we're
output of the process. Yeah. No, but I hear you. It's like a guy that I got a phone call from a manager today telling me on a project that went live, and he's like, "Do you know who I am?" This was it's a British guy, and I realized that British people don't really have manners, and they kind of, I don't know, they're kind of weird. Some of them, it's kind of weird the way they are. So, do you know who I am? And so then I'm like, based on your email, you're the manager of such and such, and this department. Is that accurate? You know, I was being kind of ironic, like, what? Who asked someone else? Do you know who I am? It's like, what the hell is that? Yeah, weird stuff. De madre. Anyway, so the last output of this process is changes, updates to the organizational process assets, a stakeholder notification, the project reports, project presentations, project records, kind of what we were talking about a little bit. So they might need to be updated. Feedback from stakeholders and then the lessons learned. So that's process number 47. So we have covered with this all the 10 knowledge areas, the 5 process groups, and the whole 9 yards of the 47 different processes that we have. So at this point, if you haven't done so, page 61 is key. That should be your mind map to kind of that will allow you to visualize really quick, and you can see why the planning processes are the most important in the test, because there's 22 of them in planning. So you have to do well in the test when it comes to planning. All of the planning processes are important. If you look at initiating, it's only 2 processes: develop the project charter and then identify stakeholders. So it doesn't really have the same weight as planning. Planning, you have 22. Then the monitor and control, you have quite a few, and executing, you have some too. And closing, then again, you have only 2 processes. So you're in the test, you're going to be, no one really knows exactly how they do the scoring. That's a black box, and they really keep it to themselves. No one really knows exactly how many right questions you need to get. I mean, that's a secret that the PMI has. But they tell you that there are 3 categories that you are going to see on the different knowledge, on the different process groups. So for initiating, the 3 categories are below proficient, and what's the other one?
Where you at, man?
No, we're done with the PMBOK.
Oh, okay.
I'm just giving you
information.
Yeah, information about the test. So yeah, we're done with it, with the different knowledge areas and the 47 process. So that's what I'm trying to point out, is that you really need to make sure that the planning process group is very important. That has more weight than initiating, and basically than any other of the process groups. So planning is key. The categories are, I'm sorry. The categories are below proficient, moderate proficient, and then proficient. So BP, MP, and P. Those are the three categories that they have. So when you get your scoring in the test, you're going to see it's going to have your name, and then they're going to break it down by process group, and it's going to say, well, in initiating, you got moderately proficient. Then in planning, you got proficient. So that's one MP, one P, and then let's say that in executing you got a BP, and then in monitoring and control you got a BP. So it'll give you that information. But the goal is to be at least moderately proficient or above, and specifically in planning. So you really want to do well in planning. That's kind of some information there. So what I want to do now to shake things up a little bit, uh, if you don't if you don't mind, I would like to see if we can take a test.
Yeah, sure.
I wanna let's do yeah, give me.
I just gotta find that website again. I haven't taken a test in a while.
Yeah, now we really, I really want you to start working on that, because that's what's gonna but that's what's gonna make the difference. We want to get used to the questions, and I really want you to give me just 1 second to log into the test site. I'm gonna share my screen with you, and then we're gonna take a test together to see. Perfume.com. Yeah. Huh. Give me just 1 second. I gotta find. Huh. Oh, my bad. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, see, it's small, man. Is there any way to make it bigger?
Yeah. Let me.
Ah,
What about now?
that's the same size.
Same size?
Let me see if I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to read it, but okay, I don't know my screen. Okay, I'm not in my office, and my wife was in there, so I'm just working off the laptop. But it only takes like half the laptop's size. If I can make it bigger on my screen, I don't know if I can. Let me see.
Maybe increase the resolution.
I got the resolution to the max. I got to hide the resolution.
Oh, but I mean to decrease it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Nah, it made it worse.
Oh.
Right. Let's just go ahead and do it. I'm not
Okay.
gonna. For example, I see the custom test. I see create your own test, and then everything else is like really small.
Let me
Like
see. Let
whatever
me
comes
see if I
through, I would
can.
have to really look at it. Eh?
Let me see something here. If I can actually do it on my. Let me see
And
something
the
here.
problem is, I got the live chat going on. I don't know how to apagar esa mierda.
Oh, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can do it here. Hold on. Click here to disable.
Are you fucking? I don't want the.
Yeah.
Aha! I took the live chat shit out. ¿Y qué también de aquí?
Okay.
Yeah, it was looking better for a little while.
Is it better?
Let me see. I can't see your screen. Veo the little human talk vibrating.
Oh, well, that's. How about now?
Nah, it's the same shit. Let's just do it. I just don't know. There's a lot of space que no se está usando. So I don't know why.
Control room. Shit. Chat. What about now?
Nah, don't worry about it. It's the same shit.
Okay. All right. So let's do. Let's do a 40 question test. So this is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna train you. We remember that you have 4 hours for the test, right?
Yeah.
So you have to work. That's gonna be approximately 75 seconds per question, but we're not gonna work based on 75 seconds. We're gonna work on 60 seconds per question because
Right.
remember that we're gonna work on building time. So having said that, I'm gonna start the test. I'm going to do 40 questions from all the knowledge areas, and let's see how we do. Okay, so I'm gonna read the questions to you as well. So let's see, generate the test, custom test is here, the first one, and then let's take it. Okay, it's giving you 48 minutes for the test, but and 28 questions is 70% approximately. That's what that's a guesstimation of what the PMBOK test, but no one, I mean the PMI, but no one really knows for sure. So that's a guesstimation in there. But anyways, for this test, we gotta get 28 right to pass it. Okay, excuse me. So let's go ahead and begin the test. You're about they don't want you to use the back and forward, and then let's start the test. Okay, question number one. Can you see the question?
Nah, man, it's gonna be hard to read. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it for you. So blank space is performed on risks that have been prioritized by the performed qualitative risk analysis process as potentially and substantially affecting the project. So again, blank is performed on risks that have been prioritized by the performed qualitative risk analysis process as potentially and substantially affecting the project. So option A is perform risk cost analysis, perform risk exposure analysis. Option C is perform quantitative risk analysis and perform risk outcome analysis.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult because I'm a guy who visualizes it. Pero, I don't know. See?
Okay. All right, let's see what we can do. So this is a scenario question. Your project is running slightly over budget. You mentioned this to another project manager who suggests you shift some of your expenses to indirect costs that are not charged to your project budget. What do? You re-estimate the project. You examine project expenses to see if any are indirect expenses that could be taken off your project. You fast track the project, or you used your reserves.
Uh,
And remember the ethical component. I'm gonna give you a little.
you have to report that your project is over budget.
Yeah, but in this case, there's one that you can do. You're going over budget. What do you do when you go over budget?
It depends. I mean, if I'm going over budget, I find out why, I create a change order. Pero
change order to use what? There's something here. There's one. Forget about this.
Yeah, I don't see. I'm trying to remember what you read. That's my problem. I'm a visual guy, so I don't see it. So what are the answers again?
The first one is re-estimate the project. The second one is examine project expenses to see if any are indirect expenses that could be taken off your project. The third one is fast track the project. And the fourth one is use your reserves.
Well, if you have reserves on the project, you use them.
There you go. That's exactly what exactly. The managed communications process belongs to which of the following process groups? Managed communication process belongs to which of the following process groups? Planning, monitoring and controlling, closing, or executing?
The managed communication process belongs to which of the following
process groups?
And the process groups are planning,
monitoring and controlling, closing, and executing.
Monitoring, controlling.
I'm going to give you another hint.
Okay, so it's not
manage is action.
Right.
You're doing something. So when you're doing something, you're doing what?
Oh, what are the answers again?
Planning, monitoring and controlling, closing, and executing. These are the process groups. These are four of the process groups.
I guess executing.
When you see something that is action, that's a verb that indicates action. So that's executing. And we'll see, but that's where we are. And this one is okay. This is gonna be hard to answer without. Okay, so a project is contracted as a time and materials type of contract.
Correct.
The service provider initially estimates that the total effort involved will be about 1,000 hours of effort.
Right.
So the first piece of information is that your total effort is going to be 1,000 hours.
Right.
The project is contracted at a rate of $75 per hour of effort.
Right.
All right. So if the project ends up with 1,200 hours of effort, what will be the contract? What will the contract payout be?
What would the contract payout be? It'll be
Mm-hmm.
it's time and material. It'll be 1,200 times 75.
Exactly. So that'll be
Whatever 1,200. That'll be
75,000.
75,000. Yeah. Plus another
Um,
50,000. It'll be 90,000.
yes.
90,000 there. All right.
Yeah. 90,000 is one of the options. Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Which of the following perform quality assurance techniques relates to root cause analysis and is used to identify a problem, discover the underlying causes, and develop preventive actions? Sensitivity analysis, expected monetary value analysis, earned value analysis, or process analysis? Which of the following perform quality assurance techniques relates to root cause analysis?
Number 4, process analysis.
Okay.
You don't sound very convinced. Remember, you know this better than me.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We'll get better at it. We'll get better at it. So, lessons learned documentation focuses on identifying project successes and project failures, right? And includes recommendations to improve future performance on projects. Lessons learned are compiled, formalized, and stored. This is a tricky question. Lessons learned are compiled, formalized, and stored. Option A, at the end of the project. Option B, at the start of the project. Option C, throughout the duration of the project. Option D, at the midway and at the end of the project.
Well, you've pointed this out as a trick question. We do it at the end of the project. In
reality, yes.
In reality, I mean, you should do it throughout the project.
Correct. That's the utopia of the PMBOK. So yeah. That's exactly right. And we'll see.
You see, I learned from what you tell me.
Man, you're making me proud, man.
Sure. Okay.
So good point. So let's see. This is a risk question. Your project team has recently identified a risk in the software development project and decided not to change the project management plan to deal with the risk. Let me read it again. Your project team has recently identified a risk in the software development project and decided not to change the project management plan to deal with the risk. The risk response strategy that your team used in this scenario is an example of option A, mitigate, option B, transfer, option C, avoid, option D, acceptance.
Acceptance.
Sounds like it, yeah. Question number Question number 8. Which of the following is an enterprise environmental factor? Configuration management knowledge base, change control procedures, historical information, commercial databases.
Man, this is where I always get fucked with this.
Yeah, these are very easy to get wrong, and they're so easy, but they're very easy to get wrong.
Enterprise. It's organization and enterprise. Enterprise is internal processes, no?
No, it's actually the opposite. Enterprise environmental factors.
I always get these things wrong.
Yeah. Organizational process assets is the organizational culture, any policies and standards.
The enterprise is the industry.
Yeah, it could be the industry.
All right. So
So
what are the answers again?
the first one is configuration management knowledge base. The second one is change control procedures. The third one is historical information. And option D, commercial databases.
Yeah, it's a commercial database.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because that's more of
Yeah.
industry.
Exactly. But you see, when you understand the definition, how easy it is to pinpoint the right
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to
So
really understand it because I always get confused every time when I take a test. I've gotten that answers
yeah.
wrong.
Don't worry, because I'm gonna be taking tests with you. Hopefully, you have a better screen next time, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna be hammering those definitions. But that's what I'm here for. So you'll get it right. So start making your associations. At least that's how I operate. I can't really learn a concept. I have to associate that. So organizational process assets is internal,
Right.
and environmental. The other one, environmental factors, is external. So that's association that I will do to make it easier. So we'll work on that. We'll reinforce that. So the next question, number 9, is which of the following is not a tool and technique of the collect requirement process?
Right.
The first one is group creativity techniques, interviews, questionnaires, and traceability matrix.
Traceability matrix.
That sounds about right. Yes.
Yeah, because the other ones are
You're not
requirements.
correct.
Traceability matrix is what you built.
Exactly, and you want to trace back, but if not when you're collecting the requirements. Exactly. I agree.
That's where
Exactly.
now you see how I answer these questions. I analyze them. Some of them I remember. Some I try to analyze. I get it right, I get it wrong, I get it wrong. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's gonna be a combination, but yeah, but for the ones, and if it's a low hanging fruit that you know the answer, do it right away, man. Don't be second guessing, because
no, I don't. I look at how I answer. I'll answer. Yeah, take this answer. I'll move forward.
Yeah. So I remember that, as they show here in the test, you can always mark for review. If you find something that you're going to find a question that is hard, mark it for review. Don't waste your time. You gotta keep on going. You gotta do. If I were you, I would try to do between 75 and 100 questions right away, and the ones that are going to take me longer, I'll mark them as review and I'll continue, and then I'll revisit those. Don't waste your time if you're stuck, because that's part of the strategy. So question number 10, you are just about to present your project status to your company's executive team. Just as you're leaving your desk for the meeting, one of your resources hands you an updated report on the progress of a critical deliverable. As you are walking to the conference room, you review the report and notice that there is an error on it. What do? Option A is do not report on that part of the project. Option B is disclose that you have discovered that there is an error in some of the information that you had intended to present, and only present the information that you know to be true. Option C is cancel the meeting. And option D is present the information as it is and revise it in the meeting minutes, which will be sent after 2 days.
I don't do option C or D. I've done option A and B. But
yeah, let me make a point, because we there's another component that I wanted to that it's part of the PMBOK. There is an ethical component. So as a project manager, you're supposed to follow an ethical code and model a behavior. So ethics is part of it. It might be, there might be some questions dealing with ethics. This one is one of them. No, I'm just giving you a hint, because this one is one of them, and this is just do the right thing. How am I going to answer this? Do the right thing.
But here's the thing. I told you I've done A and B, but B, I think, is what I would have done, which is
Exactly.
the
B
report.
is
I would
doing the
not
right
do C
thing.
and D. C and D I would never do.
Yeah, C is shady, and D is even more shady.
Yeah.
So do the right thing here. That's your rule of thumb. Do the right thing, and that's you just discover that there's an error, and you present the information that you know that is to be true. So let's go with that. Question number 11. Which of the project time management processes involves identifying and documenting dependencies among scheduled activities? Which of the project time management processes involves identifying and documenting dependencies among scheduled activities?
Okay.
So the option A is sequence activities. Option B is define activities. Option C is develop the schedule. Option D is control the schedule.
It's not going to be control schedule.
No.
It's generally it's when you're developing your schedules when you know the dependencies, because you need to understand the dependencies to be able to do your schedule. But to identify them, I don't know what was the one in the first two.
The first one is sequence activities. And the first one is sequence activities, and the second one is define activities.
It's not define activities, so it's either
so you get
yeah.
Option A is sequence activities, and option C is develop schedule.
Yes, I'll go with C.
You go with C? Okay. All right. Number 12. A project manager is analyzing a relationship between the consumption of project funds and the work being accomplished for such expenditures. In which project management process will this be done? A project manager is analyzing the relationship between the consumption of project funds and the work being accomplished for such expenditures. In which project management process will this be done? Option A, determine the budget. Option B, estimate costs. Option C, control costs. Option D, manage costs.
It's definitely not A or B. So, and this is where we go. Control cost is where I would answer. Manage cost, it's almost like the same shit.
Yeah.
I'll say control cost.
Welcome to the world of the PMP test. You're gonna see two answers that one is the right one and the other one is the right one. So you're gonna see two that could go either way. So you say control costs, and I think that might be the right one. So okay, question number 13. In an IT project, after several brainstorming sessions with customers, Kurt, it's a name, established various project deliverables. So in an IT project, after several brainstorming sessions with customers, Kurt established various project deliverables. 2 weeks later, while reviewing the plan, Kurt identifies two similar deliverables and decides to merge them into a single deliverable. What should Kurt do next? Option A, merge the deliverables and inform the customer. Option B is submit the need to merge to the customer. Merge the deliverables, but do not inform the customer.
That's not an option right there, huh?
Merge the deliverables, but do not update the project management plan.
No, that's not an option. Okay. I would do A, merge and tell the customer. I would not make the customer do the decision if I already know they're equal, because they don't manage the project manager does.
Correct.
Well, I don't know if it's correct, but We'll find out.
I think you're right. Yeah. Well, we'll see. While using facilitated sessions to gather high-level business requirements for a software development project, one of your customer proposes a requirement that may not be technologically possible to meet. If the customer insists on the requirement, what should you do? Option A, you should not document the requirement.
No, that's not an option.
Option B, you should document the requirement and include it as a risk. Option
Okay.
C, you should listen to the customer and understand his viewpoint. Option D, you should document the requirement to meet customer expectations.
I would, you know, I would put it as a risk, because if it's not, you cannot technologically give it. You might have a workaround. So you have yeah. Even though it's not, I would say B
Okay.
for the fuck of it.
Okay. Question number 15. Which of the following is not a tool of...
To be honest with you, that's an interesting question, because to be honest with you, you should really talk to the customer, and a decision should be made before you do anything. But when it doesn't matter, go ahead.
Oh, we can go back and change it.
No. Go forward.
Okay.
I don't want to go back.
Which of the following is not a tool or technique for the managed stakeholder engagement process? Which of the following is not a tool or technique of the managed stakeholder engagement process? Technical skills, management skills, communication methods, interpersonal skills.
A.
Okay. Question number 16. Bill is the project manager of an external project for a customer. The project is expected to take about a year to complete. 6 months into the project, the customer informs Bill that the project needs to be scrapped. During which of the following processes would procedures be developed to handle early termination of a project? During which of the following processes would procedures be developed to handle early termination of a project? Option A, develop project charter. Option B, close project or phase. Option C, define scope. And option D is close procurements.
B.
Okay. 17. Calculation of late finish dates and late start dates for the uncompleted portion of the project is called blank. Schedule compression. Or let me repeat the question. Calculation of late finish dates and late start dates for the uncompleted portion of the project is called option A, schedule compression. Option B, an arrow diagram. Option C, a backward pass. Option D, a forward pass. And this has to do with a critical path. I'm going to give you a hint. I'm going to give you another hint. This has to, in a critical path, we do a forward pass, and then we do a backward pass.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the forward pass?
You want to do the forward pass?
Yeah, why not? I don't know. I really don't know the answer.
Okay. Well, that's a critical path question.
Yeah.
Okay. Question 18. Yeah, we gotta review that. Okay. You have just replaced. This is a scenario question. These are the ones that we gotta take a look at. This one. You have just replaced a project manager midway through a project. While reviewing the project library, you discovered that a payment of $1.5 million was made without proper authorization. Company policy
proper or proper?
without proper authorization. Company policy requires that all payments over $1 million be approved by the appropriate functional manager. Upon closer examination, you discover that the functional manager required for this approval was on vacation. And then they give you more information. They tell you the project CPI is at 1.17. And if work continues at the current pace, 8 major deliverables will be submitted 2 weeks ahead of schedule. This may result in the opportunity to further crash the project and complete the project considerably below its anticipated cost. What should you do? Option A, train the project team in proper payment authorization. Option B, call the project manager and ask about the payment. Option C, notify the appropriate management immediately. Option D, add a note in the project archives that the improper payment was made by the previous project manager.
Let's see.
Yeah, you see, that was a long-winded question, and it wasn't really that. And sometimes they give you information. Do you see that they gave you CPI in there? It didn't really mean anything. So, okay, in a project, activity A has a duration of 4 days and begins on the morning of Monday the 4th. The successor activity B has a finish to start relationship with A. The finish to start relationship has 2 days of lag, and activity B has a duration of 3 days. If Saturday and Sunday are non-working days, which of the following statements is true? Option A, totally. So let me read the question again. This one might need to be read again. Activity A in a project. Activity A has a duration of 4 days and begins on the morning of Monday the 4th. Successor activity B has a finish to start relationship with A. Finish to start relationship has 2 days of lag, and activity B has a duration of 3 days. If Saturday and Sunday are non-working days, which of the following statements is true? So 4, 5, 6, and 3, 9. So activity option A, total elapsed days completing both activities is 7 days. Option B is activity B will be completed by the end of day on Thursday the 14th. Activity B will be completed by the end of day on Friday the 15th. Activity B will be completed by the end of day on Tuesday the 12th.
See.
Okay.
Because you got 4 days, 2 days lag, 3 days.
Yeah, but you take into account on Saturday and Sunday? So they're not working days?
Yeah,
we'll see.
You go.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. You have recently joined a new company as a project manager. While reviewing the procurement plans for a project you will be taking over, you see that the company is considering using one of the most expensive manufacturers to provide certain equipment required for the project. At your previous employer, you had used a different supplier for the same equipment and had paid significantly less. Without telling your boss, you now call that supplier for a quote. Have you violated the rules of keeping proprietary information confidential? Option A is maybe. Option B is there's no harm in sharing the information with your current employer because you're no longer working for your own employer. Option C is yes, the supply source is proprietary information and you should not contact the supplier. Option D is you have not violated any rule.
If I understood the question right, you haven't really violated any rule. But what's the difference between B and D?
B is there is no harm in sharing the information with your current employer because you are no longer working for your old employer.
Yeah, that's the same thing as D.
And
No.
then D is you have not violated any rule.
Yeah. So what's the difference? I mean, if I understood the question right, because I might misunderstand the question.
Yeah.
I don't know what to decide between. If you got a supplier, I mean, you should tell your boss. You shouldn't. Not, it's not like you don't tell your boss. They say, "Oh, so that would be A." If you should have.
But remember the ethical component here. That's in the real world. You're thinking with your real world hat. But remember the
Right, but what A is that you what?
A is maybe. So just by saying maybe, I would say that it's not an answer. It's not an
No, yeah,
option.
I thought A was that you violated. What's
Yeah. C is you violated the rule.
Yeah, you should have told your boss.
Yeah. So C.
But you know what? These questions are easy to decipher because you have two of the same answers, meaning basically two of the same answers, meaning that's not the answer.
Yeah, exactly. Question 21. You're hired by a company to work as a project manager in a foreign country. You discover that you must pay kickbacks to the officials there to get licenses for your project. What should you do? Offer kickbacks but inform your management? Resign from the project? Offer kickbacks but documenting the project cost management plan? Or refuse to pay kickbacks?
No, you refuse to pay kickbacks if it's against the company policy.
Yeah, and there might be even other regulation.
Yeah.
There's
Eso me pasó a mí, by the way.
yeah,
In real life, I didn't pay, and I didn't refuse. Well, they offered me kickbacks so I could get a contract in Costa Rica, and I said no.
Wow. Question 22. A project charter that formally authorized a project was created. The project charter documented the initial requirements to satisfy stakeholders' needs and expectations. How often should the project charter be revised? At the beginning, middle, and end of a project?
No.
Once a month?
No.
Never?
Correct.
As required by the PMO?
Never.
Okay.
Once you got the project charter, you fucking.
That's it. That's it.
That's done.
Okay. In a finish to start relationship between predecessor and successor activities, a project manager decides to schedule a successor activity 5 days before its predecessor is complete. This is accomplished by providing 5 days off, lag, load, fast tracking, or lead.
Lead, no? Isn't it lag and lead?
Yes.
Yeah, yo creo que es lead. So fuck it, just put lead. No.
You are in charge of constructing the Ferris wheel in each town visited by a carnival. However, this is something that you have never done before, and you are getting different opinions from others on how long it takes. Joe is new and has given you what you believe to be an optimistic estimate of 3 hours. Bill says it will take 10 hours, which seems too long to you and quite pessimistic. Lastly, Margie, who is the most experienced at this task, is telling you that it will take 8 hours. You are not sure whom to believe, so you decide to do a per estimation. Based on this, how many hours will it take to assemble the Ferris wheel? 7.5 hours, 8 hours, 21 hours, or 7 hours?
Let's see, it was 3, 10, and what?
It is 3, 10, and 8.
And the answers are what?
7.5, 8, 21, and 7. So you do
Yeah, if you add all three of them, it's 7 hours. 8 gonna
21
be 21. It's not gonna be 7.5.
divided by 3, that's 21 divided by 3, that's 7.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I just don't know if PERT is the average. So if we just say 7,
yeah, PERT is not okay.
don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
we'll go with a 25. A process that states how formal validation and acceptance of the completed project deliverables will be achieved is documented in the scope management plan.
Read it. Can you read it again?
Yeah. A process that states how formal validation and acceptance of the completed project deliverables will be achieved is documented in the scope management plan, procurement management plan, risk management plan, or communications management plan. You should know this one by heart.
Ahora me tiraste I'll say scope management plan, pero
Yeah.
cuando me dice eso, I start double guessing myself.
Deliverables is scope, man. As simple as that.
I know.
That's it. That's just a.
Pero digo, la voy a cagar. So, anyway,
Okay. This is one of the ones that I was looking for. You are reviewing a project with Tom, a new project manager. While discussing the communication requirements with Tom, you find that he has an impression that a project with end stakeholders has end communication channels. You are aware that this is wrong. What is the right answer? Let me read it again. You are reviewing a project with Tom, a new project manager. While discussing the communication requirements with Tom, you find that he has an impression that a project with end stakeholders has end communication channels. You are aware that this is wrong. What is the right answer? Option A is the number of channels equals to n times n plus 1 divided by 2.
no.
Where n, okay. Option B is...
I thought it was n minus 1, but go ahead.
Yeah, option B is n plus 1 times n minus 1 divided by 2. Option C is n times n minus 1 divided by 2.
That's
by
it.
2n, by 2n, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, by 2n, no. Okay.
Yeah, and option D is n times n minus 1 divided by 2. Option D. So I think you said option D.
Yeah, because I know it's n minus 1, but not divided by 2n.
Yeah, it's divided by 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what, I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what the divided by was, but I know it's not 2n.
Yeah, it's divided by 2.
Yeah, I would have chosen the last one anyway.
Okay. 27. You are the project manager responsible for building a 100 square foot data center. One of the scheduled activities in your plan is to install the computer room AC units. However, before beginning the installation of the units, a raised floor must be installed to which the units can then be bolted. So this is an example of what type of dependency. However, you're responsible of building a data center. One of the scheduled activities in your plan is to install the computer room AC.
Right.
So you realize that before installing the units, a raised floor must be installed in which the units can then be bolted.
Right.
This is an example of what type of dependency.
Right.
External, optional, discretionary, or mandatory.
Mandatory.
Yeah, that's a given. That's a gimme.
I just like, when you're reading the answers, sometimes you go, is this one, and then this one.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that.
No, it's okay. I'm going to answer the way I think I'm going to.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So all of the following are components of an effective change control process except variance analysis, expert judgment, change control tools, and meetings. All of the following are components of an effective change control process except variance analysis, expert judgment, change control tools, and meetings.
It's between A and B. Expert judgment. All right, I'll say A.
Okay. The next one is a project team is currently inspecting the recent project deliverables. The team is recording the number and the nature of defects found in these deliverables. The defect details list, in this case, it's an example of quality control checklist, work performance data, change request, or work performance information. And remember what I was telling you not too long ago.
Information is out. I will say, I'll say D.
Remember that is the difference. Work performance data is raw data. Work performance information is that data into context. So they're recording the number and the nature of the defects.
Right.
So you're going with D? Okay, let's go with D.
Go with D. It's not raw data.
Number 30. In order to keep costs low, a project management team decided to apply statistical sampling while inspecting some of the work products. They decided to select 10 out of 50 engineering drawings for inspection, during which process should the sample frequency and sample size be determined. Collect requirements, plan quality management, control quality, or perform quality assurance.
Don't have a clue. Can you read the question one more time?
Yeah. In order to keep costs low,
right,
a project management team decided to apply statistical sampling while inspecting some of the work products. They decided to select 10 out of 50 engineering drawings for inspection, during which process should the sample frequency and sample size be determined. Collect requirements, plan quality management, control quality, perform quality assurance.
I'll say control quality.
All of the following activities are performed in the closed project or phase, except activities that fulfill the exit criteria of the project, sending the deliverables to the customer for acceptance, activities which are needed to transfer the completed products to operations, documenting the reasons for projects terminated early.
B.
All of the A?
B.
Oh, B, okay. 32. You have assembled a group of subject matter experts to perform an exercise to complete a probability and impact matrix chart. You and your team are still in what process group? Risk, monitoring and controlling, quantitative analysis, or planning?
Read the first sentence again.
You have assembled a group of SMEs to perform an exercise to complete probability and impact matrix chart. You and your team are still in what process group? Option A is risk. That's not a process group.
Right.
Option B is monitor and controlling. That's a process group. Quantitative analysis. That's not a process group.
No, that's not.
And planning.
That is a process group.
Yes.
Fuck.
So either B or D.
Yeah, I'll say B.
Okay. A project has several teams. Team C has repeatedly missed deadlines in the past. This has caused Team D to have to crash the critical path several times. As the team leader for Team D, you receive word that the next deadline may also be missed. You should meet with the project manager alone, project manager and management, manager of Team D, project manager and leader of Team C. Let me read it again. A project has several teams. Team C has repeatedly missed deadlines in the past. This has caused Team D to have to crash the critical path several times. As the team leader for Team D, you receive word that the next deadline is also going to be missed. You should meet with the project manager alone, project manager and management, manager of Team D, project manager and the leader of Team C.
Why would you meet with project manager of Team D when you're Team D? I would say, what was B again?
B is project manager and management.
Yeah, B. Well, B is project manager. B.
In a small office construction project, the following activities are scheduled in sequence: digging and pouring footings, 5 days; working on the slab and pouring, 3 days; framing the floor, 5 days; wall framing, 4 days; roof framing, 6 days; insulation and drywall, 7 days; interior doors and trim, 3 days; hardware and fixtures, 2 days. Wow. What is the minimum time to complete the project if all activities are on a critical path except activity 8, which is 2 days, and activity 3 is delayed by 1 day? So I guess you got to add all them up. I mean, it's 5.
Add them all,
Yeah.
subtract 2, and add 1. Or just add
Correct.
them all, subtract 1.
Correct.
So whatever
So it's 5 plus 3, that's 8, plus 5, 13, 17, plus 6 is 23, 30, 33, 35, minus
1.
3. Ooh, and we're done. Time is up.
Yeah.
Hey, you know how many? We didn't answer all of them, but we got 22 right.
We got 22 right
Mm-hmm.
out of how many?
Out of 40.
No, out of how many did we answer?
Let me see. I'll tell you in a second. Seven, 8, wow, 30, 8, 9. No, it can be 9. Oh, it's 40. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm sorry. This is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You gotta go to the previous page. There's 7 in that page. You said, right? There's 41 questions?
It was 40 questions total.
Okay. Y en ese page es de 40 hasta cuál número?
Hasta the 40, hasta el 31st.
Right, so we got
Nosotros
31.
contestamos 31, 32.
32 we didn't answer.
33, 34 33 we answer. So we
Right.
got 22 out of 33.
That's not bad. 22 out of 33. That's almost 70%.
Yeah, let's go over them really quick to see.
Yeah.
Not so many of the. So let's see. Based on this, on integration, you get 100%.
Oh, look at me.
Scope management, 100%. Cost management, 100%. Communications, 100%. Procurement, 100%. Project framework, 100%. Risk management, 66.67%. Quality management, 50%. Stakeholder management, 50%. Professional responsibility and ethics, 50%. Time management, 33%. And then by process group, the worst one that we had was 50% on planning, which is not good at all.
Oh,
But okay. But let's start reviewing some of the questions, at least the ones that we got. The ones that we. So the number one, we said that blank is performing the risks that have been prioritized by perform the qualitative risk analysis. So we said perform quantitative risk analysis. So yes, that's the right answer. Perform quantitative risk analysis is performing risks that have been prioritized by the perform qualitative risk analysis. So that you get right. Number one. Number two, your project is running slightly over budget. Then what do? You use your reserves. That's the right answer. Get that one right. The third one is manage communications. Like I told you, manage means action. It's an action verb. It's a verb that denotes action. So it's executing. Very. That's the association right there. Then the time and materials, and you got that one right. So $75 times 1,200. So that is correct. Then process. Which of the following perform quality assurance techniques relates to root cause analysis? You said process analysis. So that is correct. It's a perform quality assurance technique that relates to root cause analysis. Lessons learned should be done throughout the duration of the project, like you said. So in real life, we do. That's a very good example. In real life, we do it at the end of the project and look at it. They give it to you as an answer. But ideally, in the utopia of PMI, it should be done throughout the project.
are you still there?
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
No. Okay. All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So then identify the risk. Then we accepted the risk. So that's acceptance. We didn't do anything. That's accepting. Which of the following is an enterprise environmental factor? Remember the external factors. Enterprise environmental is external. So commercial databases was right. Which of the following is not a tool and technique of collect requirements? The traceability matrix. Yeah, it's not one of the tools and techniques for collect requirements. The first 10 we got right. Wow. Or you got right, I should say. You are just about to present your project status. So what do? What you said, disclose the information, and always answer those. Just do the right thing. So that's what it is. So disclose that you have just discovered that there is an error, and you will only present the information that you're sure of. So that's the first 10. Then we have number 11. Which of the project time management processes involves identifying and documenting dependencies? When you're sequencing, that's what you do. The sequence is the you define, you identify and document the dependencies.
Right.
So that's what we did.
Right.
Then a project manager is analyzing the relationship between the consumption of project funds and the work being accomplished. So you are controlling the cost. That's exactly what you're doing. You're analyzing. Remember, what you're doing here, you're measuring performance. When you're measuring performance, you're monitoring and controlling. That's key. So you see how you comparing your actuals versus your plan value. So you're controlling your cost in this case. So we got that right. Then number 13. We say in an IT project, after several brainstorming, Kurt established the various project deliverables. 2 weeks later, we're reviewing the plan. Kurt identifies 2 similar deliverables and decides to merge them into a single deliverable. The correct response is submit the need to merge to the customer. So the customer must be notified about any changes made to deliverables, because the acceptance of deliverables is a key to a successful project. It is the responsibility of the PM to notify appropriate stakeholders before making any changes. So Kurt must submit the proposed merge to the customer. Once the customer accepts the change, then he can go ahead and merge the deliverables and notify the customer that this has been done. So this is part of the ethics portion of it. And we said that merge the deliverables and inform the customer. So yeah, we should let them know, notify. Number 14, while using facilitated sessions to gather high-level business requirements for a software development project, one of your customer proposes a requirement that might not be possible to meet. If the customer insists on the requirement, what should you do? The correct response is you should listen to the customer and understand his viewpoint.
That's stupid. You anyway, okay.
It is, but remember the utopia. So they say here, a project manager must communicate honestly and openly with the customer. When a customer insists on specific requirements, a project manager should listen to them and understand his or her point of view. Then the project manager must gather facts and explain convincingly to the customer why he or she is right or wrong. Project managers should neither accept nor deny critical requests from customer until they have sufficient factual information. So in this situation, you should listen to the customer and understand his viewpoint.
Right.
So remember, you always look at it not from the real life perspective, but from the PMI perspective.
Right.
So which of the following is not a tool and technique to manage stakeholders? They are technical skills. Yeah, nothing technical there. Bill is a project manager of an external project for a customer. So Bill is informed that the project needs to be scrapped. So what is the process that what process is going to have the procedures to be developed to handle an early termination? Is close project or phase, correct? Then calculation of late finish dates and late start dates are for the uncompleted portion of the project work is called a backward pass. Yeah, this is when we come. This is part of the critical path, and we're coming we're coming backwards in this case from the end to the beginning. So that's a backward pass. So we need to cover a little bit more of critical path. You have replaced a project manager midway through a project. Then you discover that a payment was made without proper authorization. What do? You notify the management immediately. So we got that right. Project manager in a project, activity A has a duration of 4 days on the beginning of Monday the 4th. The successor activity has a finish to start relationship with A. Finish to start relationship has a 2 days of lag. An activity has a duration of 3 days. Saturday and Sunday are no working days, and we got it. We actually got it wrong. So activity B will be completed by the end of the day on Thursday the 14th, and we said the Friday the 15th.
So, 14th. You start Monday morning, 4 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then you got 2 days lag. That's Friday and Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, fuck. I did the math wrong.
So activity A has a duration of 4 days and completes by the end of the day on Thursday the 7th.
Yeah. It's Thursday.
Yeah, there's a 2-day lag since Saturday and Sunday are non-working. Activity B can begin only on Tuesday the 12th. Activity B has a duration of 3 days and completes by the end of Thursday the 14th. Yeah. So 20 is you have recently joined the company as a project manager. While reviewing the procurement plans for a project will be taken over, you realize that the company is considering using one of the most expensive manufacturers. Without telling your boss, you now call the supplier for a quote. Correct. You have not violated any rule.
I knew it. I knew it.
You said it. Yeah. You have not violated any proprietary or confidential information. So, yeah, you got that. You said that, yeah.
Yeah, but there were 2 answers that were the same there.
Yeah.
But we didn't get any of them. We decided to take the high road.
The 21, you're hired as a company by a company as a project manager in a foreign country. You discover you must pay kickbacks. What should you do? You refuse to pay kickbacks. Project charter is formally authorized. That formally authorized a project was created. How often should the project charter be revised? Never. That is correct. The project charter does not need to be revised. In a finish to start relationship between predecessor and successor, project manager decides to schedule a successor activity 5 days before its predecessor is complete. That's providing 5 days of lead. Yes. It's lead and lag. Excuse me.
See, I did learn something.
Yeah. You are in charge of constructing the Ferris wheel. So this is the the PERT estimate. So it's the other one. It's not the average. That's the triangular distribution. This one is the PERT is optimistic plus most likely times 4 plus pessimistic divided by 6. That's the formula. So that formula, you have to learn it and then write it down when you do your brain dump. So you have that available for you. You might have a question in there. So it's 7.5 the right answer, not 7. A process that states how formal validation and acceptance of completed project deliverables, that's scope management plan. And then you're reviewing the project management with Tom, and then what is the right formula for the communication channels, and you got it right, is N times N minus 1 divided by 2. You are the project manager responsible for the data center. What type of dependency is this? This is mandatory, so you get it right. And then all the following are components of an effective change control process except variance analysis. Yeah, when change control and variance analysis, they have nothing to do. They're not related, so that's the right answer. 29, a project team is currently inspecting the recent project deliverables. The team is recording the number and the nature of defects. And you see, it's work performance data. This is actually just the raw data. You're just documenting the defects, but you're not putting anything into context. I mean, you're just recording the number and the nature of defects that were found. That's it, raw data, basically. So it hasn't been put into any context. So that's just work performance data. Number 30, in order to keep costs low, a project management team decided to apply the statistical sampling, during which process should the sample frequency and sample size be determined. And it should be in plan quality management. So the sample frequency and sample size be determined. Yeah, so you plan for your quality. So that makes perfect sense. And then let's go over this. Number 31 is all of the following activities are performed in the closed project or phase except sending deliverables to the customer for acceptance. You get that one right. Then number 32, you have assembled a group of subject matter experts to perform an exercise to complete a probability and impact matrix chart. You and your team are still in what process group? So we said monitoring and controlling, but it's really planning. When you're completing the probability and impact matrix chart. This is done. This prioritizes risk according to their potential to affect the project objectives. This is created in the planning phase. Then 33, I think that's probably the last one that we did. Yes. 33, a project team has several teams. A project has several teams. Team C has really missed the deadlines in the past. This has caused Team D to crash the critical path several times. As a team leader for Team D, you receive word that the next deadline may also be missed. You should meet with the project manager and team leader of the Team C. Those having the problem should resolve the problem. Crashing the critical path several times implies that Team D has already dealt with this problem.
We answered that one correct.
We answered project manager and management.
And what was the answer?
Project manager and leader of Team C. You see, they look alike.
Yeah.
So crashing the critical path implies that Team D already dealt with the problems. In this case, the two team leaders need to meet, and the extent of the situation, it requires the project manager's involvement too. Okay, and that was the last one that we answered. So 22 out of 33. That's not bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about those planning stuff because that could have been some of the questions we didn't answer. Could have been planning.
That is correct. Yeah. So the numbers don't. That is true. That is true. So it's really, but that's not bad at all. I mean, that's.
I want to take a couple of tests before our next meeting.
Okay. Yeah, please do, and let me know, because this is what's really gonna. Now we're getting. You have the foundation now, so we have to work on getting you I'm getting you used to the type of questions that you're gonna see. Work on the 60 seconds per question. Remember, you have to build your time. The test is 4 hours, but you have to build your time to go to the bathroom, to take a little break, so kind of have to the strategy, and then mark the questions that are going to take longer, mark them for review. I can tell you that in my case, I marked between 15 and 20 questions I marked for review. And I didn't go and review the whole test because that's
how many questions are there? 200?
It's yes, 200 questions. Yeah.
Okay, esa era esa. Oye, maybe on the next class, I want to take a test before the class, and then if we can review what I got wrong.
That'll be perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll do that.
Absolutely, and yeah, we can do that, and take as many as you can to see. I want to see your performance, and then we can actually work on the areas that you need to improve. So
Yeah.
we can tackle those.
Right.
So now it's getting you in shape for a test. Now we work on the strategy. So we really have to work on the strategy and get you in shape to pass the test.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, big boy.
All right, man. Thank you very much, and we're almost there. So,
Yeah.
And we got to start thinking about when are you going to take the test and all of that. So
Yeah, we got to pick a date.
yeah,
That's going to force me to study even more.
yeah. Ideally, so based on what I have, we have what, 2 more weeks, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is week number 5. So we have 2 more weeks.
I know that last week we only have one day. So
Yeah, we're gonna have to make that's kind of making up the dates. So we have to ideally they recommend not they recommend taking the test not too long after finishing the class. So within the next 3 to 4 weeks, you should be ready for the test.
all right, how about if on Tuesday we decide the day? Eh?
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking too, so you can go ahead and do that.
All right, man.
Alrighty.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
All right, man. Take care.
Good night, bro. Thank you.
Good night, bro. Bye.
Bye bye.